rise. Support Court with Judge Vonda B is now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB1078, McKinney case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You all may be seated. Okay, Ms. McKinney,
Yes, ma'am.
you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Well, Your Honor, I am here to try to recoup costs that I've incurred with my daughter.
All right.
She's 9 years old. She's been with me since birth, and I'm paying for everything. I've been doing it all on my own.
All right.
Without a problem, but I've been doing it all on my own.
The episode kicks off with Judge Vonda B calling the McKinney case into session. Ms. McKinney wastes no time laying out her plea. She's been raising her 9-year-old daughter completely alone and wants help recouping the huge costs she's covered for her child's upbringing. From the start, the judge senses there's more to this than simple child support. The tension is brewing like the hot tea the title promises.
All right. And when you say all on your own, Dad isn't helping out financially at all?
At all.
Okay. And you said your daughter's 9.
Yes.
Is she involved in any type of extracurricular activities? That word always messes me up.
Yes, ma'am. Basketball, track and field, and tennis.
All right. Does Dad pay for any of those?
No, ma'am.
How much are the fees associated annually with each one of those?
Annually, probably roughly $4,700.
Ms. McKinney explains she's carried all the weight, paying for her daughter's food, clothes, and especially pricey extracurricular activities like basketball, track, and tennis, costing her nearly $4,700 every year. The judge zeroes in. Does Dad even attend these events? The answer, a hard no. He knows about them but contributes nothing. A fact that sets the tone for the conflict that's about to explode.
All right. Is Dad aware that she's in these activities?
Yes.
All right. The extracurricular activities, does he attend those?
No, Your Honor.
So he doesn't pay for those?
No.
So what is the backstory? I mean, she's 9, so were you all in a relationship previously? Like what happened?
We were in a situationship for a weekend.
What in the world is that?
Well, it was a little bit more than a one-night stand. It lasted approximately 72 hours. I was on business in Washington, D.C., and he was there for a teacher's conference. I met him at a nightclub.
Ooh,
and
I need to be careful what I ask.
Well, listen, the night grew long, and things happened within the next 72 hours.
When asked how this all started, Ms. McKinney admits she and the alleged father weren't in a relationship, but a fleeting situationship. Basically a glorified 72-hour fling. They met at a nightclub while she was on a business trip, and he was at a teacher's conference. Within those 72 hours, they conceived a child. Judge Vonda B's eyebrows practically jump off her face. This is no fairy tale romance, just real-life consequences.
And so, yeah, that's the extent of it.
Okay, and you got pregnant?
Yes.
Okay. Was he involved in the pregnancy?
Well, he was definitely there.
Well, no, throughout your pregnancy.
Oh, throughout? No, ma'am.
Okay. So you just literally had the baby, no help from him, nothing like that.
Ms. McKinney reveals the father was missing in action during her entire pregnancy. Not there for doctor's visits, the birth, or even to sign the birth certificate. He only showed up at the hospital a week late, by which point she'd already gone home. 9 years later, all he's offered are birthday texts, no cash, no consistent presence. Judge Vonda B highlights a glaring gap. Emotional support is one thing, but real support requires money too.
Did he show up at the hospital?
No, he was late.
Okay. So did you all have a DNA test done?
No.
Does he know he's the father?
He doesn't think that he is, and he's the only Caucasian that I've ever been with, so.
Okay. So that's where the issue lies then. He doesn't believe he's the father, which is why he hasn't given you any money.
But he sent text messages, and he sent happy birthdays, things of that nature.
Here's the plot twist. There's never been a DNA test. The father claims he doesn't believe the child is his, even though Ms. McKinney says he's the only Caucasian man she's ever been with. For 9 years, the dad's doubt has conveniently justified his $0 contribution. The judge reminds everyone there's no excuse for ignoring a child's needs, but the law requires certainty. Paternity must be established before child support can be enforced.
How is she doing? So I believe if he didn't care at all, he wouldn't send those text messages. Now, he's done that for the past 9 years. I've just never seen any greenbacks to follow those texts.
Okay. So when he arrived at the hospital, did he sign the acknowledgement of paternity?
No, Your Honor. When I meant he was late, the baby was already a week old at the time. I was already at home. We'd left the hospital. That's what I mean by late.
Oh, so he didn't show up at the hospital at all?
No, Your Honor.
So he didn't sign the birth certificate?
When it's his turn, the father leans into a defense that stuns the court. Ms. McKinney makes way more money than he does. He's a high school teacher earning $60,000 a year while she has a federal job. In his view, she doesn't need his money. Judge Vonda B doesn't miss a beat, noting that child support isn't about what the mother needs. It's about what the child deserves. This argument is about to backfire in spectacular fashion.
Or any acknowledgement of paternity or anything like that?
No.
Okay. So you're here today to do what exactly?
Well, I was hoping you would be able to help me, first and foremost, establish paternity.
Okay.
At this point.
All right.
And
we would definitely have to do that before any child support takes place.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
All right. Is there anything else you want me to know before I move over to him?
No, that's pretty much it. I've just been doing
It is because the mother has only been with him. The reason? Because he's white, he says, doubling down on his disbelief that Ms. McKinney's child could be his. The judge and Ms. McKinney bristle at the thinly veiled prejudice and the dad's blatant attempt to dodge responsibility.
Everything on my own. In my heart of hearts, I know that he is a father. I have no doubt. I'm just needing assistance.
Okay. All right. All right. Sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is what she's saying. Now, let me be clear in my questions because I just realized that I probably shouldn't have asked that question like that. Now, bypass all the 72-hour stuff that she talked about, right? Mm-hmm. Now, she's pregnant.
She was.
Okay, you were not involved in that process at all in terms of the pregnancy.
Look, let me just start off by saying that most of what she said is essentially true,
okay.
Although there's some giant omissions in there.
Judge Vonda B makes it clear. Texas law doesn't care if you were in a committed relationship or not. If you fathered a child, situationship fling, or otherwise, you're financially responsible. She reminds him that no birth control, no broken promises, and no new baby excuses change that. A child exists, and that child must be supported by both parents. Period.
And some things that you need to take into account to get the full picture.
Well, does it involve the 72-hour thing?
we were involved approximately that amount of time, yes.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't want to know any specific details about that.
I'm not here to give you the details of it. I'm just here to tell you that we were in an intimate relationship on and off for about 72 hours, yes.
Okay.
To settle the debate, Judge Vonda B orders a DNA test immediately. If the results prove he's a father, he'll owe child support starting that day. If not, Ms. McKinney can petition to test anyone else. No shame, just justice for her daughter. The judge is ruling it's a dad like cold water. That karma he tried to dodge is now squarely on his shoulders.
So, after you found out she was pregnant, what happened?
Well, first let me add some context to everything before I answer that, Your Honor. She works for the federal government. I'm a teacher. I'm a high school teacher. She makes significantly more money than I do. I make about $60,000 a year. I don't know the exact figure of her annual income, but I know it's a lot more than that. She's in far better position to support her daughter than I would be. And what she's asking for...
You said her daughter, so you truly don't believe this is your child?
I am willing to accept that it may be, but we've not done a DNA test. What she said about being only with one Caucasian man, I have no way of knowing if that's true. She's lied before to me. So don't take, she was honest with a lot of the stuff she said fairly, but here's a big thing she forgot to mention. I have a son of my own. I have a newborn son, and with my fiance.
Congratulations.
What does
Thank
that
you
have
very
to do
much.
with this?
This is
Well,
what it
I allowed you
Okay.
the opportunity to speak. This is his time. And now
ma'am.
I asked you, was there anything else you needed me to know before I moved over to
But I
him?
already know he's gonna push my buttons.
Okay,
Okay.
well, just sit there and don't let him push your buttons.
Okay.
That's the easy, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can do that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead.
So I have a newborn son with my fiance, and I know that he's my son for sure. And I know, and
How do you know for sure?
Because he's
Well-
white.
be-
Ma'am.
because the woman who gave birth to him has been with me and only me for the past 3 years now. That's how I know that he is my son. And he does, despite being a newborn, having a little newborn face, he does look like me. I can tell. So, but anyway, what she's asking for, she does not need financial compensation from me to support possibly our daughter. And the other factor she didn't take into consideration.
Wait a minute. Did I hear that right? Let me rewind.
Yeah, he said
it.
need.
Let me
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Let me rewind that. You said she does not need money from you. So let me make sure I got that right.
Because she makes so much more than me.
Right. So even if it is your child,
Right.
she still doesn't need to get money from you?
In my opinion, this is what she's doing here right now has nothing to do with needing money. It has to do with jealousy. She's trying to interfere with my relationship with my new son and my fiance.
Baby, I
By
care
bringing-
less about that, okay?
You hear what
Two
she said?
things for certain, one for sure.
thought-
I care less about that.
Excuse me. I
I'm
thought we
sorry.
weren't going to allow him to
It's-
push your buttons.
I
Thank
left
you.
one button out. I'm
I've
sorry.
got buttons.
I've gathered-
Thank
well,
you.
I've gathered all my buttons, and you ain't gonna push
Well,
them.
you
I got a
know,
whole control panel.
excuse
nobody
me,
asked you
excuse
that.
me. The only
You're
person
so
that's going
freaking
to
childish.
be, excuse me, the only person that's going to be pressing buttons up here is me.
I'm trying not to press his head.
Well, we're definitely not going to do that because then the bailiff will have to escort you out, and then I'll more than likely dismiss your case. So that wouldn't be a good thing, right? Ultimately, the both of you are here for one thing. You all want to find out if he is indeed the father of your daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, sure.
Seems like a weird place to do that. I don't see a DNA kit anywhere nearby.
Oh, now
well,
you're
we
challenging her
we do that
circumstance.
in a different area.
Stupid.
We have,
Okay.
excuse me, that wasn't very nice.
Well, it wasn't nice for him to dish your courtroom either. I'm just saying.
No, well,
Well-
no disrespect to your court, ma'am.
I don't take offense to that because I don't sit up and let people push my buttons often. All right? So this is what we are going to do. We are going to reset this pending DNA results. Now, if for any reason the child does come back, well, the DNA test does come back and you are the father, you will have to start paying child support being ordered today, all right?
Can I respond to that, Judge, if I may? We were in what amounted to a long one-night stand.
Right.
We never committed to ourselves to each other. I wasn't even aware that she gave birth until like a week after it happened.
Lies.
No, I was never
I
told
called
that.
Excuse me, Miss McKinney.
Yes, Your Honor.
The session wraps with Judge Vonda B, hammering home the heart of the matter. This isn't about revenge or jealousy. It's about a 9-year-old girl who deserves the love and financial support of both her parents. The courtroom tension softens just enough for Ms. McKinney to breathe easier, knowing she's one step closer to securing what her daughter rightly deserves. No matter how much tea had to be spilled to get there.
It's the lies.
It's the buttons. Woosah. Okay? Now, to your point, I was looking here through this Texas Family Code looking for where it says that you have to be in a relationship with somebody to not have to pay child support, and it doesn't exist.
Well, she never, said. I was under the impression, from what I remember, that she was on birth control. Now, that may be my faulty memory, but I never entered
But
into this
even
relationship
still,
with any intention.
let's just be clear. Birth control or not, a 9-year-old child is here. These are the facts. A 9-year-old child is here who deserves support, not only from her mother, but from her potential father as well. So we are going to reset this matter, get some DNA testing done. So to my original thought, if you are the father, you will start paying child support being ordered as of today, all right? If he is not the father, you can come back to court and petition as many people. Now, don't take that offensive. I'm not saying that you just been with everybody or anything like that, but you can come back and petition as many people as necessary, because this child, as I just stated, deserves to have the support from not only her mother, but from her potential father as well. So, do you all have any questions about what you're going to do?
No, Your Honor.
No.
No? Okay. And you have to make your daughter available for testing as well.
She's available.
Okay.
She's here.
Okay. So we can go ahead and get that taken care of today.
Oh, yes, we could.
Okay, so we'll reset y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
The gavel strikes as Judge Vonda B calls the McKinney case to order, immediately setting the tone that this won't be an ordinary support hearing. The narrator would say, Judge Vonda B sits high on the bench, eyeing Ms. McKinney with curiosity and caution. What's going on? The judge asks, as Ms. McKinney rises, voice steady but eyes tired. She tells the court she's paid every penny for her daughter's 9 years of life, with Dad nowhere in sight. The tension is thick already. Ms. McKinney's voice cracks, but holds strong as she explains she paid for everything alone. The narrator would continue. The judge leans in as Ms. McKinney lists basketball, track, and tennis, a yearly total of about $4,700. Does Dad even show up for a single game? Judge Vonda B asks. Not once, Ms. McKinney says. In that moment, the courtroom feels her exhaustion. She's done 9 years of financial and emotional heavy lifting, and now she wants help. The judge presses for how this all began, and the tea spills fast. Ms. McKinney calls it a situationship, a 72-hour weekend fling in D.C. while she was on business, and he was at a teacher's conference. The narrator explains. Asterisk Judge Vonda B raises an eyebrow. A situationship? The gallery snickers. Ms. McKinney says, it was more than a one-night stand. It was 3 days of bad decisions that turned into 9 years of responsibility. The whole courtroom feels the weight. The drama deepens as Ms. McKinney admits the father vanished when it mattered most. He was there when it happened, but not after, she tells Judge Vonda B. The narrator paints it. The judge's eyes narrow when she hears he didn't show up for prenatal visits, missed the birth entirely, and didn't sign any paternity papers. Ms. McKinney sighs. He came to the hospital a week late. We were already gone. It's 9 years of texts, but never a dime. The silence speaks volumes. Judge Vonda B zeroes in. Did you ever do a DNA test? Ms. McKinney admits no. And the father uses that gap to dodge accountability. He claims he doesn't believe he's a father, but Ms. McKinney is adamant. He's the only Caucasian man I've ever been with. The narrator captures the moment. The judge knows paternity must be proven to order support, but a mother's certainty clashes with the father's convenient skepticism. The tension thickens. The truth has to come out. Now it's Dad's turn. He stands up, calm but smug, claiming Ms. McKinney makes way more money than I do. The narrator reveals. He says he's a teacher making $60,000. She works for the federal government. His point? She doesn't need his money. Judge Vonda B shoots him a look that could cut glass. Child support isn't about what she needs. It's about what this child deserves. But the father shrugs, still playing victim while his daughter goes without. The crowd shifts uncomfortably. The father tries to justify his doubt further. I have a new baby with my fiancée. I know he's mine, because she's only been with me, he says. The narrator would say, asterisk, his tone drips with condescension. Ms. McKinney's eyes flash with anger, her patience wearing thin. Judge Vonda B interrupts. So you trust your fiancée, but you can't trust that you're responsible for this child? The father mumbles about the baby looking like him. The courtroom sees right through him. Karma's circling. The judge cuts through the drama like a blade. Texas law doesn't care if you're in a relationship or not. If you're the father, you pay. The narrator explains. The judge flips through the Texas Family Code, mock reading it for any clause that says situationships are exempt. She finds none because they don't exist. Ms. McKinney looks relieved. Dad looks cornered. The courtroom gets a masterclass in accountability. Situationship or not, a child's needs come first. So here's what we're going to do. Judge Vonda B announces, voice firm. We reset this for a DNA test. If you're the father, you start paying child support today. The narrator sets the scene. Asterisk, Dad tries to protest, talking about birth control, old memories, and excuses. The judge shuts it down. A 9-year-old child is here. The facts matter more than your story. Ms. McKinney nods. Finally, proof is on her side. It's a make or break moment. No more guessing. The truth will come out. Judge Vonda B closes a case with a truth bomb that echoes beyond the courtroom. This isn't about jealousy or revenge. This is about your daughter. The narrator would say, asterisk, she orders Ms. McKinney to make her daughter available for DNA testing immediately. Dad looks pale. Ms. McKinney breathes out a sigh. One step closer to support she's fought for alone. The judge's gavel falls, reminding everyone watching. Children come first, always. That's the karma in this courtroom.